Amaka woke up with a start. The house was too quiet. She sat up in bed, looking around. Her brother, Ejike, was still sleeping beside her on the mat. Something was wrong, though. It wasn't just the silence inside, it was the silence outside too. No birds, no footsteps, nothing. Ejike, she whispered, shaking him awake. Wake up. He groaned and opened his eyes slowly. What is it? Listen, Amaka said, her voice shaky. Can you hear that? Ejike sat up, rubbing his eyes. Hear what? Exactly. There's nothing. She stood up and walked to the door. Outside, everything was still. The village they lived in, usually full of life in the morning, was empty. No people, no animals, not even the sound of the wind in the trees. Ejike followed her, his face now full of worry. Where is everybody? They walked through the village, knocking on doors, calling out for their neighbors. No one answered. The houses were all empty, just like their own. Amaka, what's happening? Ejike asked, his voice small. I don't know, she said, tears filling her eyes. It's like everyone just disappeared. Days went by. They searched everywhere, but the world seemed completely empty. They found food in the abandoned houses, but with no one else around, it felt like they were living in a dream. But it wasn't a dream. At least, it didn't feel like one. One night, after another day of searching, they sat in their house. The air was heavy with silence. Amaka could feel it pressing down on her, a weight she couldn't shake. Ejike, she said softly, what if it's just us now? He looked at her, confused. What do you mean? What if we're the only people left? What if we have to? She couldn't finish her sentence, the thought too strange to say out loud. Ejike stared at her, realizing what she was suggesting. But we're brother and sister, he said, his voice tight. I know, Amaka whispered. But if there's no one else, what choice do we have? We have to survive. That night, they lay on the mat together, neither of them speaking. Amaka kept her eyes closed, her heart pounding. Could they really do this? Was this what their lives had come to? As the night dragged on, sleep finally took her, but it was a restless sleep. Her dreams were full of strange images, empty streets, her brother's face, a baby crying in the distance. Suddenly, Amaka jolted awake. The sound of voices filled the air. She sat up quickly, her heart racing. Outside, she could hear people talking, laughing. The world that had been so silent was alive again. Ejike, she shouted, shaking him awake. Do you hear that? He sat up, blinking in confusion. What's going on? They ran outside, and to their shock, the village was full of life. People were walking around, talking to each other, carrying baskets of food. Everything was normal, as if nothing had happened. Amaka stared in disbelief. It was all a dream, she whispered. She could hardly believe it. The empty world, the fear, everything, it had just been a dream. Ejike looked at her, his face a mix of confusion and relief. We're not alone, he said, almost laughing with joy. Amaka smiled, feeling a strange weight lift off her chest. The dream had been so real, but now, standing in the middle of their busy village, it felt like a distant memory. She and Ejike didn't talk about it again, but in her heart, Amaka knew she would never forget that strange, quiet world where it was just the two of them, trying to find a way to survive. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Click on the notification button to enjoy more content like this.